If changing the world for the better is not your primary goal, then you're not a social enterprise.
The quality of your personal leadership will be what pulls you through.
I think we want to work together to make social enterprise a much bigger part of the solution to society's problems.
I feel so honored to stand here today before so many of my heroes and friends and to welcome you to New Orleans, to Louisiana, and the 10th Anniversary Social Enterprise Alliance Conference.
You know, the challenges of today's world demand innovation. Now, I want to talk to you today about a moment in time that I think there's a great opportunity for us, and I think we're joining together to explore that opportunity of basically the new face of business. An approach that puts social issues foremost, a strategy that delivers better results for more people, social enterprise. We're gathered here in New Orleans to talk about a new and exciting movement that offers a chance into creating innovative solutions to the problems at hand. Social enterprises get that our primary responsibility is to act in the best interests of society. Social enterprises are fundamentally hybrids. We bring the heart of social mission to the market. The relationship that we have with the communities that we serve is fundamentally different than traditional charity, for certain. Our clients, our customers, are not the passive recipients of our beneficence or our charity. They're our active partners in changing the world, in changing society. And the power relationship between us and our customers is different. And that, I think, is at the core of all social enterprise. That it's not we're up here and you're down there. It's you're our partners in making social change.
We want you to do a great job with your enterprises. We think that first and foremost, social enterprises are businesses whose primary purpose is to accomplish the common good. And so if we don't do a good job of running our businesses, then they will never grow. And if they do not grow, we will never create the common good at the scale that we think it needs to be created. I mean, is there anyone here who thinks like that the common good doesn't need all the help it can get these days? It would not be a stretch to say that the planet and the people on this planet are depending on social enterprise at this moment in time. And the success of our field is going to depend on how well we practice it, not how well we theorize it.
21% of the U.S. children live below the poverty line in this country today. That doesn't seem like the right number we should have in a country like this. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world in this country. Here in New Orleans, 90% of African Americans don't go on to college. From where I sit, I say we must figure out how to, what I'm calling, invest in what works. I think we need to recognize that we're getting captured in terms social enterprise, social innovation, social entrepreneurship. And as I've been traveling around, what seems to be resonating the most is investing in what works. Statistics like these and many more are commonplace all across America, from New York to Illinois to California to right here in the state of Louisiana. And yet I'm amazed that there's no sense of urgency and certainly no sense of outrage in a country like this. There has to be an imperative to find the messages, and I think that's critical, to find the strategies and to build the institutions that place a greater focus on making progress on the issues that we all seem to care so much about. Such statistics like this, for the amount of money that we're spending on taxes and philanthropy, should seem unacceptable, not unlike littering or buckling your seatbelt. And yet they're not. They're commonplace every day. What is uncovered after Katrina is a news story that goes away in less than a year overall.
We identified 144,000 jobs in the state of Louisiana that were related to art, music, historic preservation, et cetera, et cetera. And as a consequence of being able to identify that, just one simple change, we were able to advocate to the state legislature why it was important to treat us just like they treated the oil and gas industry or the biomedical technology research and development, because for legislators and for social entrepreneurs, the issue is always what's the return on investment. For policymakers, the return on investment, is are you making money, et cetera. For businesses, it's profit and more. For social entrepreneurs, it's, how much good did you do and how many lives did you change? So it's somewhat of the same model. But in any event, what you're doing right now is participating in helping Louisiana rebuild, because this hotel that you are now sitting in was not functioning after Katrina. And the men and women who are waiting on you, that are serving you food, most of, if not all of them, lost their houses, lost their schools, lost their jobs, and lost everything else that forms the fabric of your life that you take for granted every day. And so one of the things that we have really talked to the rest of America about is we appreciate your empathy and we appreciate all the money that you sent down, but the best way to help us help ourselves is for you to come. And that's what you've done, and I really appreciate that.
We believe that the capital markets are starting to look towards social enterprises. I know that there'll still be those that are looking for 30, 40, 50, 60, 200% return on their money. But there are now capital markets that are interested in looking at placing their bets with institutions that are trying to do a higher work. Yes, they do want a return, and we're proving to them that we can deliver returns, but they're also looking at what else their money is doing in the marketplace. All of which means that we can begin to position social enterprise as a more stable investment to a more stable and frankly sane investor. So that when capital markets begin to open up again, which they eventually will, social enterprises will be more attractive than ever before.
Your voice can be heard in the halls of power if you speak to them. But if you don't go to the legislature and talk to them, they're not going to come find you. And if you don't go to the halls of Congress, they're not going to come find you. And if you don't make your voice known, then you won't be heard. And it really is not much more complicated than that at the end of the day. You also will be known by the product that you produce. You'll be known by the fruits of your tree. And that's why you're easy to advocate for, because what you produce is excellent. And if you can find a way to sustain yourself and not ask government for everything, but just to do their part, and to have the private sector do their part, and the faith-based community do their part, and the not-for-profit sector do their part, and you can create that beautiful mosaic that actually produces a better life for somebody else, people will be flocking to your door to want to have their pictures taken with you and cut all the ribbons that you cut to open up the enterprises that you open up, and then you will generate more, because goodness generates goodness. And that's the ultimate goal for all of us, I think.
Do you believe traditional charity alone will bring the lasting and sustainable change our communities need? I don't. Do you believe that traditional business alone is going to do the right things for society's disadvantaged, the people who often most need the products and services of business but are least able to afford it? I don't. Do you believe that traditional government approaches alone are going to bring the innovation and effectiveness that our global crisis so desperately demands? I don't. Traditional charity, business, and government approaches alone are not going to be able to do this. But I know that we all believe that social enterprise is a crucial part of the solutions that charity, business, and government need to get us through this crisis and build the more sustainable and just world that we all look forward to. Thanks.